Hello, little dreamers. I'm Luna. Welcome to Luna Bedtime Story. Tonight, we'll journey into a world of gentle adventures, kind hearts, and peaceful dreams. If you'd like a new bedtime story waiting for you every week, don't forget to subscribe and join our cozy little family. Now, get comfortable. Snuggle into your favorite blanket. Let your shoulders relax. Close your eyes. Let's begin our story.
The Friendly Dragon. Chapter 1. The Dragon on the Mountain. High above the rolling green hills of Willow Valley stood a mountain called Hearthpeak. Hearthpeak was not a dark or frightening mountain. Its lower slopes were covered with soft grass, clover, and small yellow flowers. A narrow stream wound between smooth gray stones. Farther up, pine trees grew beside a long path. Deer, rabbits, and mountain goats used the path together. Near the top of Hearthpeak was a wide cave. The entrance faced the valley. From that peaceful place, a visitor could see farms, orchards, roads, and the silver curve of the river. The village itself rested near the center of the valley. Its stone cottages looked very small from the mountain. The cave was the home of a dragon named Emberwing. Emberwing was larger than any horse in the village. His scales were the color of warm copper. A row of golden scales ran from the top of his head to the end of his long tail. When sunlight touched them, they shone like leaves in autumn. His wings were broad and strong. One wing could shade a garden. 2 wings could protect a cottage from heavy rain, yet Emberwing moved them with care. He never wanted to crush a flower or frighten a bird. His eyes were deep brown. They were calm and thoughtful. Most old stories said that dragons loved gold, jewels, and battles. Emberwing did not care about any of those things. His cave held no golden crowns. It held no silver swords. It held no boxes of precious stones. Instead, the cave was filled with comfortable objects. Wooden shelves stood along the stone walls. Emberwing had made the shelves from fallen branches. He had polished the wood until it felt smooth. One shelf held teapots. A teapot was a round container with a handle, a lid, and a narrow spout. Hot water and tea leaves were placed inside it. Warm tea could be poured into cups after a few quiet minutes. Emberwing had blue teapots, red teapots, and teapots painted with tiny flowers. He had one shaped like a pumpkin and another shaped like a sleeping cat. He had collected them during his travels before coming to Hearthpeak. Another shelf held books. Some of the books contained stories, others contained songs or recipes. Emberwing loved all 3. He liked stories because they carried him to distant places. He liked songs because they made the cave feel less quiet. He liked recipes because they helped him prepare warm and comforting food. Near the center of the cave stood a round fire pit. The fire pit was a circle made from smooth river stones. A small fire burned within it. Emberwing kept the flames low and steady. Beside the fire pit stood a wooden box filled with white marshmallows. A marshmallow was a small, soft treat. It became warm and golden when held near a fire. Emberwing enjoyed toasting marshmallows more than almost anything else. He placed each one on the end of a long wooden stick. Then he slowly turned the stick above the flames. He never hurried. A hurried marshmallow often became black on one side and cold on the other. Emberwing believed a marshmallow should be golden all the way around. When the weather was cold, he also used his warm breath to heat his teacups. He breathed across each cup until steam rose from the tea. His breath was much gentler than the flames described in old dragon stories. Sometimes Emberwing wondered if his warm breath could help other people. He imagined heating ovens for bakers. He imagined warming homes on winter nights. He imagined sitting beside a village fire while children toasted marshmallows. These thoughts made him smile. They also made him lonely. The people of Willow Valley did not know what Emberwing was truly like. They had never visited his cave. They had never shared tea with him. They had never heard him sing a quiet mountain song. They only saw his shadow. On clear nights, Emberwing sometimes flew above the valley. The moon turned his great wings into a dark shape against the sky. Whenever villagers saw that shape, they hurried inside. Doors closed. Curtains were pulled across windows, locks clicked into place. Emberwing always heard those sounds from above. Dragons had excellent hearing, even when they wished they did not. Afterward, he returned to Hearthpeak and sat beside his little fire. One autumn evening, he toasted 2 marshmallows. He ate the first one slowly. He placed the second on a clean blue plate. The plate had been meant for a guest, but no guest had ever come. Emberwing looked at the empty seat across from him. "Someone may sit there," he whispered. Outside, the last light of sunset rested over Willow Valley. The cottage windows began to glow. Emberwing watched those distant lights until the stars appeared. Then he carried the untouched marshmallow to the cave entrance. He placed it on a flat stone for the birds to find in the morning. "Good night, Willow Valley," he said. The wind moved gently through the pine trees. Far below, the village prepared for sleep. High above the valley, the kind dragon closed his eyes and dreamed of friendship. Chapter 2. The Village of Old Stories. Willow Valley Village rested beside a clear river at the foot of Hearthpeak. The village was a pleasant place. Its cottages were built from pale gray stone. Most had red or brown roofs. Small chimneys rose above them. Thin lines of smoke curled into the sky on cool mornings. Gardens grew beside many of the cottages. Some held vegetables, others held roses, daisies, and tall sunflowers. Low wooden fences marked the edges of the gardens. Narrow roads passed between the homes. These roads led to a bakery, a schoolhouse, a general store, and a large village square. The roads were made from packed earth and small stones. They were firm during dry weather. They became muddy after heavy rain. The village square was the heart of Willow Valley. It was a broad, open place surrounded by shops and cottages. A very old oak tree grew in the middle. Its trunk was wide. Its branches stretched over several wooden benches. Markets were held beneath the oak tree. Musicians played there during festivals. Children gathered under its shade on warm afternoons. The villagers were proud of their peaceful home. They worked together during harvest time. They shared food when a family was in need. They repaired fences, cleaned roads, and cared for the old oak tree. Yet the villagers shared a fear. They feared dragons. No one in Willow Valley had ever spoken to a dragon. Most had never seen one clearly. Their fear came from old stories. Some of those stories had been told for hundreds of years. They described dragons with terrible voices and wild flames. The dragons in the stories guarded treasure. They chased anyone who came near. Parents told the tales to their children. The children grew up and told the same tales to their own children. After many years, the stories felt like memories, even though no one had lived through them. Among the people of Willow Valley lived a girl named Lily. Lily was 9 years old. She lived with her mother in a small cottage near the village schoolhouse. Their cottage had a green door and 2 round windows. A little garden grew beside the front path. In spring, the garden filled with white flowers. In autumn, Lily and her mother planted winter herbs there. Lily had dark, wavy hair and bright, watchful eyes. She was gentle, but she was not shy. She enjoyed listening to stories, yet she also enjoyed asking questions about them. Her mother often said that Lily could find a question hidden inside almost anything. One evening, several villagers gathered beneath the old oak tree. The moon was rising over Hearthpeak. It was large, pale, and round. A dark shape crossed in front of it. Someone pointed toward the sky. "The dragon," the man cried. The quiet square changed at once. Parents called their children. Shopkeepers closed their shutters. People hurried toward their cottages. Lily stood beside her mother and looked up. The dark shape moved slowly across the moon. Its wings rose and fell in a calm rhythm. It did not turn toward the village. It did not send flames into the sky. It simply flew. "Come inside," her mother said. Lily followed her home. She understood that her mother wanted to keep her safe. Before closing the green door, however, Lily looked at the mountain again. The dragon had landed near a cave high above the valley. He sat at the cave entrance. Even from far away, Lily could see that his head was lowered. The sight did not make her afraid. It made her curious. The next day, Lily visited the village baker. The baker was a round, cheerful man named Mr. Crumb. Flour usually covered his brown apron. His bakery smelled of warm bread, cinnamon, and apples. Mr. Crumb was placing loaves on a wooden table when Lily entered. "Did you see the dragon last night?" Lily asked. "I saw its shadow," said Mr. Crumb. "Did it do anything frightening?" Mr. Crumb paused. "Well, no. Did anyone here ever meet it?" "I do not believe so." Lily thought about this answer. "Then how do we know it is unkind?" Mr. Crumb placed another loaf on the table. "We have the old stories," he said. "But stories can be wrong." "They can," Mr. Crumb admitted. "Still, it is wise to be careful around something so large." Lily understood that being careful was sensible, yet she also believed that fear was not the same as knowledge. That afternoon, she walked to a grassy hill beyond the last cottage. The hill was called Meadow Rise. It was low and round with a single willow tree at the top. From there, Lily could see Hearthpeak clearly. She sat beneath the willow tree and looked toward the dragon's cave. A tiny copper figure sat near the entrance. The dragon was holding something small and round in one claw. A little ribbon of steam rose beside him. Lily could not see the object clearly, but it looked like a teacup. She smiled at the thought. A dragon drinking tea did not belong in any of the old stories. The sun sank behind the hills. Its orange light spread across the valley. Lily stood and began walking home. Before leaving Meadow Rise, she turned toward Hearthpeak once more. "One day," she said softly, "I would like to know the true story." High above the valley, Emberwing lifted his head. He thought he had heard a voice on the wind. He listened for a while. Then he smiled, even though he did not know why. Chapter 3. The Stormy Night. Autumn brought bright colors to Willow Valley. The leaves on the oak tree turned gold. The fields became brown after the crops were gathered. Pumpkins appeared outside cottage doors. The Harvest Festival was only 3 days away. The Harvest Festival was an autumn celebration held in the village square. Families brought food made from crops grown in the valley. Musicians played gentle songs. Children carried lanterns after sunset. The lanterns were among the most important festival objects. Each lantern had a light metal frame covered with thin paper. A small candle sat safely inside. When the candle was lit, the paper glowed with a soft golden color. The villagers had prepared hundreds of lanterns. They stored them in large wooden boxes near the square. The boxes kept the fragile paper safe until the evening of the festival. On the afternoon before the celebration, the sky began to change. Clouds covered the sunlight. The air grew still. Birds flew toward their nests, and farm animals gathered inside their shelters. Mr. Alder, the village carpenter, looked at the sky and frowned. Mr. Alder was a quiet man with gray hair and strong hands. He made tables, doors, and wooden toys. He understood weather because he had worked outside for most of his life. "A storm is coming," he said. The villagers hurried to prepare. They carried tables indoors. They tied ropes around the festival banners. They placed stones on top of the lantern boxes. By evening, wind moved through the valley. At first, it lifted only a few leaves. Then it grew stronger. Tree branches swayed. Shutters struck cottage walls. Rain began to fall in large cold drops. High on Hearthpeak, Emberwing stood at the entrance of his cave. The storm pushed against the mountain. He could see people moving through the village. They were trying to protect roofs, fences, and festival supplies. Emberwing wanted to help. He knew his wings could block the strongest wind. He knew his warm breath could dry wet wood and keep villagers from becoming cold. Still, he remained near the cave. If he flew into the village, people might panic. They might leave their safe homes and run into the storm. Emberwing took one step forward, then he stepped back. Below him, a powerful gust raced through the valley. One of the wooden lantern boxes tipped onto its side. Its lid opened and dozens of lanterns rolled into the road. The wind carried them toward the river. Lily saw what had happened. She had been helping her mother fasten a shutter. When she noticed the lanterns, she ran toward the square. She did not try to rescue every lantern. She knew that would be impossible. Instead, she hurried toward the old stone bridge, where the wind was carrying them. The bridge crossed the narrowest part of the river. Its surface was flat and wide enough for a cart. Low stone walls ran along both sides. During peaceful weather, people often stopped there to watch fish moving through the clear water. On that stormy evening, the river was dark and rough. Lily reached the bridge and caught one lantern. Another rolled past her. She caught that one too. A third lantern struck the stone wall and stopped. Then the wind became stronger. Lily held the lanterns against her chest. Rain ran down her face. She could not carry them away without letting the others fall into the river. From Hearthpeak, Emberwing saw her. His fear of the villagers remained, yet his concern for Lily became greater than his fear. He opened his wings and leaped from the mountain. The storm shook him as he flew. Emberwing lowered his head and continued toward the bridge. Lily heard the heavy beat of wings. She looked up. A huge copper dragon came through the rain. For one brief moment, the old stories filled her mind. Then Emberwing landed between Lily and the strongest wind. He spread his wings. The wings formed a wide wall on both sides of the bridge. The wind struck them, but it could no longer reach Lily or the lanterns. Everything within the shelter of his wings became calm. Lily stared at him. Emberwing looked back with worried eyes. "I am sorry if I frightened you," he said. His voice was soft. Lily had never heard a dragon speak. She had not expected him to sound nervous. "You stopped the wind," she said. "I hoped that would help." It did. Together they gathered the remaining lanterns. Several candles had gone out in the rain. Emberwing lifted one lantern and examined it carefully. He breathed a thin stream of warm air toward the candle. A tiny flame appeared. The paper began to glow. He relit a second lantern, then a third. Soon a circle of golden lights surrounded them. The warm glow shone on Emberwing's copper scales. Lily could now see him clearly. He did not look like the dragons in the old pictures. His eyes were kind. One of his wings trembled with effort as it held back the storm. "You are getting tired," Lily said. "A little," Emberwing admitted. They carried the lanterns to an empty stone shelter. The shelter had once been used by travelers waiting for carts. Its roof protected the lanterns from the rain. When the final lantern was safe, Emberwing folded his wings. The wind swept across the bridge again. "I should go," he said. "Someone may see me." Lily looked toward the village. Everyone was busy protecting their homes. She turned back to the dragon. "Thank you for helping me." Emberwing became very still. No villager had ever thanked him before. "You are welcome," he said. "What is your name?" "Emberwing." "My name is Lily." The dragon repeated it gently. Lily, the storm began to weaken. The rain softened and the river became quieter. Emberwing opened his wings. Before taking flight, he looked at Lily one last time. "Please be safe on your way home." "I will." He rose into the dark sky and flew toward Hearthpeak. Lily watched until he disappeared among the clouds. Then she looked at the glowing lanterns in the shelter. The old stories had warned her about dragon fire. They had never said that a dragon might use his warm breath to protect a small light. As Lily walked home, she carried that new truth with her. It felt as warm as a lantern. Chapter 4. Lily's Discovery. The storm passed during the night. Morning sunlight spread across Willow Valley. Drops of rain shone on rooftops, fences, and leaves. The village had been disturbed, but it had not been badly harmed. Several fences had fallen. A few roof tiles had broken. Mud covered the roads. The festival banners had twisted around their ropes. The lanterns beside the bridge were safe. Villagers found them inside the stone shelter. No one knew how they had been gathered or why several were still glowing. Lily knew. She told no one yet. Emberwing had helped her, but she understood that the villagers might not be ready to hear the truth. First, she wanted to learn more about him. After breakfast, Lily packed a small bag. The bag was made from brown cloth. It had 2 shoulder straps. Inside, she placed bread, an apple, a bottle of water, and a folded blanket. She also brought 2 honey biscuits. One biscuit was for her, the other was for Emberwing. Lily told her mother that she was walking on the lower path of Hearthpeak. She promised to return before sunset. The path began beyond Meadow Rise at first. It passed through open fields, then it entered a quiet pine forest. The ground beneath the trees was covered with soft brown needles. As Lily climbed, the village became smaller behind her. She crossed a narrow wooden footbridge over a mountain stream. She rested beside a patch of blue flowers. Then she continued toward the top. The journey took most of the morning. At last, Lily reached the dragon's cave. The entrance was much larger than it had looked from the valley. Sunlight touched the smooth stone floor just inside. Lily stopped near the opening. "Emberwing?" she called. A soft sound came from within the cave. The dragon appeared slowly. He held a wooden spoon in one claw. A pale cloth was tied around his neck like a cooking apron. When he saw Lily, his eyes opened wide. "You came here. I wanted to visit." Emberwing looked past her as if he expected frightened villagers to be waiting on the path. Lily was alone. "May I come inside?" she asked. Emberwing quickly remembered his manners. "Of course. Please come in." The cave was warm and bright. Small glass lamps stood in safe places along the walls. Each lamp contained a candle protected by a clear cover. The covers kept the flames from being blown out by drafts. Lily walked slowly. She saw the shelves of teapots. She saw the books and blankets. She saw several baskets filled with knitting yarn. "You knit blankets?" she asked. "I am learning," Emberwing said. He showed her a large blue blanket. Its edges were uneven, but it was thick and soft. "I think it is lovely," Lily said. Emberwing led her to the fire pit. A brown teapot sat on the iron rack above the low flames. The teapot was round and painted with tiny green leaves. Warm water waited inside it. Emberwing placed tea leaves in the water. Then he set 2 cups on a wooden table. One cup was large enough for a dragon. The other was the size of a normal village cup. "I have kept that small cup for a long time," Emberwing said. "I hoped I might have a guest someday." Lily sat in the empty chair. Emberwing poured the tea. She took the honey biscuits from her bag. "This one is for you." The biscuit looked very small in Emberwing's claw. He ate it carefully and smiled. "It is wonderful." They spent the afternoon talking. Emberwing showed Lily his storybooks. He explained that he had found some in abandoned travel chests and received others from wandering merchants who had not been afraid of him. He showed her a shelf of recipe books. The pages contained instructions for bread, soup, cakes, fruit pies, and many kinds of tea. Emberwing had copied several recipes himself after speaking with cooks during his travels. "I hope to share them one day," he said. Next, he showed Lily a wooden chest. The chest was long, with a curved lid and a small brass handle. Emberwing opened it carefully. Inside were rolls of paper tied with ribbons. Some held songs. Others held stories written in Emberwing's neat handwriting. "I collected songs from every place I visited," he explained. "I wrote down stories too. I was afraid they might be forgotten." "Why did you stop traveling?" "People became frightened whenever they saw me. I did not want to cause trouble, so I came here." Lily looked around the beautiful cave. "You made a wonderful home. It is comfortable," Emberwing said, "but it is very quiet." Lily understood what he meant. A warm home could still feel lonely before she left. Emberwing prepared 2 marshmallows. He placed them on wooden sticks and held them near the fire. He turned them slowly until each one was golden. Lily tasted hers. The outside was warm and lightly crisp. The inside was soft. "This is the best toasted marshmallow in Willow Valley," she said. "It may be the only toasted marshmallow in Willow Valley. Then we should share them with everyone someday." Emberwing looked uncertain. "The villagers are afraid of me. They do not know you. They may not wish to know me." Lily considered the problem. "We do not need to tell them everything at once," she said. "We can show them your kindness first." Emberwing sat quietly. The idea was small, but it carried hope. "What would we do?" he asked. "We will make a plan." Outside, afternoon light rested on the green slopes. Lily folded her blanket and returned it to her bag. Before starting down the path, she turned toward Emberwing. "I will come back tomorrow." The dragon smiled. For the first time, The small blue plate beside his fire was no longer waiting for an imaginary guest. It had been used by a friend. Chapter 5. The Plan in the Cozy Cave. The following afternoon, Lily returned to Hearthpeak. Clouds rested lightly above the valley, but the weather was calm. The pine trees moved in a gentle breeze inside the cave. Emberwing had prepared tea. He had also placed a large sheet of paper on the wooden table. The paper was a map of Willow Valley. A map was a drawing that showed the location of places. This one showed the village square, the orchards, the river, the main roads, and the cottages. Emberwing had drawn the map himself. Small pictures helped Lily understand it. Apple shapes marked the orchards. A loaf of bread marked the bakery. A blue line showed the river. Lily placed several smooth pebbles on the table. Each pebble represented an idea. "We want the villagers to learn that kindness can come from someone they do not know," she said. Emberwing nodded. "But if they see me, they may run away. That is why you will help without being seen." Lily set the first pebble beside the picture of the orchard. The village orchard lay north of the cottages. Rows of apple and pear trees grew there. Low hills protected the trees from some winds. Sudden cold could still damage them. "If frost comes early, you could warm the orchard," Lily suggested. "I could breathe warm air above the trees." She placed the second pebble beside the bakery. Mr. Crumb used 2 large brick ovens. Each oven was a deep space built into the bakery wall. Wood burned inside. The heated bricks baked bread. "In winter, Mr. Crumb has trouble keeping the ovens hot," Lily said. "I could warm the bricks before dawn." The third pebble went beside the roads. After heavy rain, the roads become muddy. "My breath could dry them." The fourth pebble went beside several cottages at the edge of the map. Older villagers lived in those cottages. During snowstorms, reaching them could be difficult. "You could carry food or firewood," Lily said. Emberwing studied the map. "These are good ideas. We must be careful," Lily replied. "You should help only when help is needed. Kindness should not make people feel weak. It should help them do what they cannot do alone." Emberwing liked this rule. He did not want to take over the villagers' work. He wanted to stand beside them, even if they did not know he was there. Lily moved the final pebble to the village square. "One day when people are ready, you can come here." Emberwing looked at the little drawing of the old oak tree. His wings shifted nervously. "That will require courage." "Not today," Lily said. "We can begin with one small act." They rolled up the map and tied it with a green ribbon. Afterward, Emberwing opened a recipe book. They chose a simple bread made with honey and oats. Lily read the instructions while Emberwing prepared the ingredients. The dough rose beside the fire. While they waited, Emberwing showed Lily one of his songs. It was a quiet song about moonlight resting on a lake. His voice was low and warm. The sound filled the cave without becoming loud. Lily listened until the final note faded. "You should sing that for the village children," she said. "Perhaps someday?" The bread finished baking near sunset. Emberwing placed it on a flat stone to cool. Its crust was brown and the whole cave smelled of honey. He cut one piece for Lily and one for himself. They ate beside the cave entrance. Below them, Willow Valley shone in the late afternoon light. Emberwing thought about the map. For years he had watched the villagers from a distance. He had waited for friendship to come to him. Now he understood that he could take a gentle step toward it. The step did not need to be large, it only needed to be kind. That night, the temperature began to fall. A cold wind came over the northern hills. Lily noticed it as she reached her cottage. High on Hearthpeak, Emberwing noticed it too. He looked toward the orchard. The first part of their plan was about to begin. Chapter 6. The Secret Helper. A cold snap arrived during the night. A cold snap arrived during the night. A cold snap was a short period when the temperature became much lower. It could cover plants with frost even when winter had not fully arrived. The apple and pear trees still held some late fruit. Frost could damage the fruit and weaken the youngest branches. Emberwing waited until every cottage window was dark. Then he left his cave. Clouds covered the moon. Their soft gray shadows helped hide him. He flew to the orchard and landed beyond a row of bushes. The orchard was quiet. Hundreds of trees stood in straight lines. Their leaves moved in the cold breeze. A pale coat of frost had already begun to form. Emberwing walked slowly between the rows. His warm breath was powerful, so he had to use it carefully. Too much heat would harm the trees as surely as frost. He breathed a gentle stream of warm air above each row. The frost melted into tiny drops of water. He continued until dawn began to brighten the eastern sky. Then he returned to Hearthpeak. Later that morning, the orchard keeper made a surprising discovery. The trees were safe. Frost covered the nearby fields, but no frost remained on the fruit. The orchard keeper could not explain it. A week later, heavy rain fell over Willow Valley. The storm was not dangerous, but it lasted for 2 days. The earthen roads became thick with mud. Cart wheels sank. People had trouble reaching the market. On the morning after the rain, villagers found the road to the square warm and dry. A few round marks appeared in the mud beside it. The marks looked like dragon footprints. Nobody spoke about them at first. During the first winter snow, Mr. Crumb arrived at his bakery before sunrise. The brick ovens were cold. He placed wood inside them, but the damp pieces would not burn well. He went to the storage room to find drier wood. When he returned, the bricks were already warm. A small golden flame burned at the center of each oven. Mr. Crumb looked around. The bakery door was still locked. On the windowsill rested a single golden scale. He touched it. The scale was warm. Mr. Crumb remembered Lily's question. How do we know the dragon is unkind? He placed the golden scale in a safe drawer. Then he baked the morning bread. As winter deepened, snow covered the valley. At the far end of the northern road lived an elderly woman named Mrs. Wren. Mrs. Wren had silver hair and a quiet voice. She lived alone in a cottage with blue shutters. Her knees had become weak with age. Walking through deep snow was difficult. After a heavy storm, she needed food and firewood. Lily packed a large basket. A basket was a container woven from thin strips of wood. This basket had a strong handle and a fitted cloth cover. Lily placed bread, cheese, apples, tea, and a jar of soup inside it. Emberwing carried a bundle of firewood. The bundle was too heavy for Lily, but very light for him. They waited until evening. Then Emberwing flew above the northern road while Lily followed on foot. He landed behind Mrs. Wren's cottage, where trees hid him from the village. Together they placed the basket and firewood beside the blue door. Mrs. Wren opened it a few minutes later. She looked at the supplies. She looked at the enormous footprints in the snow. Then she looked toward the trees. Emberwing was already gone. Mrs. Wren brought the basket inside. The next day she spoke to several neighbors. "A kind creature visited me," she said. "Did you see who it was?" "No. But whoever carried that firewood must have been very strong." More mysterious acts followed. A broken fence stood upright after a windy night because Emberwing had held the posts while Lily tied them. Festival lamps that had gone dark were found glowing again. A farmer's lost sheep were guided home by the quiet movement of great wings. The villagers became curious. They still remembered the old stories, but the stories no longer explained what was happening. The unseen helper did not take treasure. The helper gave warmth. The helper left no threats. The helper left dry roads, safe trees, warm ovens, and baskets of food. One evening, Lily visited the bakery. Mr. Crumb was shaping dough. "I think I know who has been helping us," he said. Lily waited. "The dragon on Hearthpeak. Are you afraid?" Mr. Crumb looked toward the warm ovens. "Not as much as I was." This answer filled Lily with hope. High above the village, Emberwing sat beside his fire pit. He did not yet know that old fears were changing. He only knew that the orchard was safe, the roads were dry, and Mrs. Wren had enough firewood. For that night, it was enough. Chapter 7. The Mystery of the Marshmallows. Snow covered Willow Valley in a smooth white blanket. The cottages looked quiet beneath their white roofs. Smoke rose from the chimneys. Footprints crossed the village square and passed beneath the bare branches of the oak tree. One morning, a child named Ben found something unusual. Ben was 7 years old. He lived above the store with his father and sister. He liked small mysteries, especially when they involved searching outdoors. On that morning, Ben was walking beside the village well. The well was a deep stone opening. A wooden cover kept it safe when it was not being used. A bucket and rope allowed villagers to lift water. On top of the well cover rested a marshmallow. It was perfectly toasted. The outside was golden brown. Not one part was burned. Ben looked around. No one was near. He lifted the marshmallow and hurried to show his sister. The next morning, another marshmallow appeared on the lowest branch of the old oak tree. A girl named Mira found it. On the third morning, a marshmallow rested on the bakery windowsill. Mr. Crumb found that one. Soon, one toasted marshmallow appeared somewhere in the village every morning. The children became excited. They called the mysterious gifts dragon treats. No one knew who had chosen the name. It simply spread from one child to another. Each morning, the children searched in safe places. They looked beneath benches and beside garden gates. They checked low tree branches and shop windowsills. They never crossed the river or entered empty buildings without an adult. Finding the treat became less important than sharing the search. Children who had rarely played together began helping one another. The mystery also inspired stories. Ben believed a tiny dragon delivered the marshmallows in a walnut cart. Mira believed a friendly giant tossed them down from the clouds. Another child said the moon toasted them during the night. Only Lily knew the truth. Each evening, Emberwing sat beside his fire pit with a clean wooden stick. He selected one marshmallow from the box. Then he toasted it slowly. He turned it until every side became golden. After the village grew quiet, he placed the treat in a small paper bag. The bag protected it from snow and dust. Lily chose the hiding place. Sometimes she delivered the marshmallow herself. Sometimes Emberwing carried it. He enjoyed choosing places where children would find it easily. One night, Emberwing and Lily sat at the cave entrance. The moon shone over the snowy valley. "Do the children like the treats?" Emberwing asked. "They love them." "Do they know they come from me?" "Some of them hope they do." Emberwing looked surprised. "They hope a dragon is leaving them?" "Yes." He stared toward the village. For years, children had hurried inside when his shadow crossed the moon. Now some of them woke early to search for a gift from him. The change felt almost too wonderful to believe. The dragon treats continued through winter. Yet Lily and Emberwing noticed something important. The children wanted to leave gifts in return. Some placed drawings where the marshmallows had been found. Others left painted stones or short thank you notes. One morning, Emberwing found a folded piece of paper beside the well. The picture showed a large copper dragon sitting beneath the old oak tree. Children surrounded him. Everyone held a marshmallow. At the bottom, in uneven writing, were 4 words: "Please come visit someday." Emberwing carried the picture back to his cave. He placed it on the shelf beside his favorite books. That evening, he looked at it for a long time. "The children may be ready," Lily said. "Some of them may be. Are you ready?" Emberwing did not answer at once. He wanted to say yes. Yet the old fear remained inside him. It had grown during many lonely years. "I am trying to be," he said. Lily understood. Courage did not always arrive in one bright moment. Sometimes it grew from many small choices. The dragon treats had become one of those choices. Each golden marshmallow carried a simple message from the mountain to the village. The message had no written words. Still, everyone understood it. Someone kind was thinking of them. Chapter 8. Winter Wishes. The coldest night of winter arrived beneath a bright full moon. Lily and Emberwing marked the evening with a new tradition. They called it the Moonlight Marshmallow Gathering. The first gathering took place in the village square. Lily asked Mr. Alder to build a box. The box had a narrow opening in its lid and a door on one side. The opening was for notes. The door allowed the notes to be removed. Mr. Alder made the box from smooth oak. He added a simple picture of a moon and a marshmallow on the front. Lily placed it beneath the old oak tree. Beside the box, she hung a sign. The sign explained that villagers could write about a hope, a dream, or an act of kindness. They did not need to write their names. The first evening was quiet. Several lanterns hung from the oak branches. Their light rested gently on the snow. Lily and a few children set out plates of toasted marshmallows. Mr. Crumb brought warm rolls. Mrs. Wren brought a pot of spiced apple tea. Lily and a few children set out toasted marshmallows. Mr. Crumb brought warm rolls. Mrs. Wren brought a pot of spiced apple tea. He waited on Meadow Rise, hidden behind the willow tree. From there, he could hear the soft music and happy voices. The villagers slowly began placing notes in the box. One child hoped the schoolhouse could have more books. A farmer hoped his young apple trees would survive the winter. Someone wished that Mrs. Wren would have more visitors. Another note described how a neighbor had quietly repaired a broken gate. Some notes held large hopes, others held small ones. All were treated with care. After the gathering ended, Lily carried the box to Hearthpeak. She and Emberwing sat beside the fire pit. They opened the little door and removed the notes. Emberwing read each one slowly. He did not think of them as a list of tasks. Wishes belonged to the people who made them, and not every wish could be solved by a dragon. Still, he looked for gentle ways to help. Emberwing selected books from his shelves. He chose stories about rivers, forests, and distant lands. He packed them in a chest and delivered them before sunrise. For the young apple trees, he carried fallen pine branches to the orchard. The branches were placed around the roots to protect them from the cold. For Mrs. Wren, Lily spoke to the village children. Soon 2 or 3 visited her every week. Mrs. Wren taught them to sew small cloth birds. Other villagers began helping too. The wishing box showed them where kindness was needed. A carpenter repaired a damaged chair. A baker left bread beside a family's door. Children cleared snow from the school path. The secret helper was no longer the only helper in Willow Valley. Kindness moved from one person to another. The moonlight marshmallow gathering took place again the following month. This time, many more villagers came. Some brought notes, some brought food, some simply came to sit beneath the lanterns and enjoy one another's company. Emberwing watched from Meadow Rise again. He wanted to join them. He imagined walking into the square, but fear tightened in his chest. "What if they scream?" he asked Lily later. "Some people may be surprised. What if they run? Some may step back. What if they never accept me?" Lily sat beside him at the cave entrance. "We cannot know what everyone will do," she said, "but you already have friends in the village. I have you, and Mr. Crumb knows. Mrs. Wren knows too, even if she has not seen you clearly. The children have guessed." Emberwing looked at the lights below. "Friendship requires more courage than hiding." "Yes," Lily said, "but you do not have to find all that courage tonight." Emberwing breathed slowly. He understood that Lily did not want to push him. She wanted him to choose his own moment. That thought made him feel safer. The next morning, a new note appeared in the wooden box. Lily carried it to Hearthpeak. The note was written by more than one person. Different colors of ink filled the page. It said, "Dear friend on the mountain, thank you for the warm ovens, the dry roads, the safe trees, and the dragon treats. We hope you will join us when you are ready." Emberwing read the message twice. Then he folded it carefully. He placed it beside the children's drawing. For the first time, the village was not simply waiting to discover him. It was inviting him. Chapter 9. When fear met friendship. Winter slowly loosened its hold on the valley. Snow melted from the cottage roofs. Water flowed along the edges of the roads. The first green shoots appeared in sheltered gardens. With spring approaching, the villagers began discussing the Lantern Festival. The Lantern Festival was held on the first clear evening of spring. It was different from the Harvest Festival. Instead of celebrating crops, it celebrated hope and new beginnings. Each family prepared a paper lantern. A short message was tied beneath it. The message often expressed gratitude or carried a hope for the coming year. This year, many people planned to write about the secret helper. Before the festival, however, Mr. Alder called a village meeting. The villagers gathered in the square beneath the old oak tree. Lily stood beside her mother. Mr. Crumb stood near the bakery door. Mrs. Wren sat on a bench with a blue blanket across her knees. Mr. Alder stepped forward. "We should speak honestly about the creature on Hearthpeak," he said. The square became very quiet. Several villagers looked toward the mountain. Mr. Alder continued, "We have seen large footprints. We have found golden scales. We know that a dragon lives above the valley." A few people shifted nervously. "We also know that someone warmed the orchard, dried the roads, heated the bakery ovens, and carried supplies through the snow." A farmer raised his hand. "How can we be certain the dragon did those things?" Mr. Crumb walked forward. He removed the golden scale from his pocket. "I found this beside my warm oven." Mrs. Wren lifted her chin. "The footprints outside my cottage were far too large to belong to any horse." Some villagers smiled. Others remained worried. A woman near the schoolhouse spoke next. "The dragon may have helped us. That does not mean it is safe." Lily understood the concern. Fear did not disappear merely because someone asked it to leave. She stepped into the open space beneath the tree. Everyone turned toward her. "I met Emberwing during the autumn storm," she said. Her mother looked surprised, but she did not interrupt. Lily told them about the bridge. She described the lanterns rolling toward the river. She explained how Emberwing had used his wings to stop the wind and his warm breath to relight the candles. Then she described his home. "He has books and teapots," she said. "He makes blankets. He collects recipes and songs. He has wanted to meet us for years." A few children laughed softly when Lily mentioned the teapots. The worried woman did not laugh. "Why did he hide?" she asked. "Because he was afraid of us." This answer surprised the villagers. They had always thought only humans could fear dragons. Lily looked around the square. "We closed our doors before we knew him. He stayed on the mountain before he knew us." Both sides were afraid. No one spoke for a moment. Then Mrs. Wren stood carefully. "I would like to meet the neighbor who carried my firewood." Mr. Crumb nodded. "I would like to thank the neighbor who warmed my ovens." Ben raised both hands. "I would like to learn how he toasts the marshmallows." The children laughed. Even some of the adults smiled. Not every fear vanished, yet the meeting changed something important. The dragon was no longer only a shape from an old story. He had a name, Emberwing. That evening, Lily climbed Hearthpeak. She told Emberwing about the meeting. He listened beside the fire pit. "Were people angry?" he asked. "Some were worried. Many want to meet you."
Did you tell them about my teapots?
"I did." Emberwing looked at his shelves. "Perhaps I should have dusted them." Lily laughed. Then Emberwing laughed too. When the cave became quiet again, he looked toward the village. "The Lantern Festival is in 3 days," Lily said. "I know, you could come." Emberwing's smile faded. He walked to the cave entrance. The village looked close beneath the clear evening sky, yet the distance felt greater than the whole world. "I have hidden for a long time," he said. "You had reasons. If I keep hiding, the old stories will continue speaking for me." Lily stood beside his front foot. "What would you like the villagers to know?" "That I do not want their treasure. I do not want to frighten them. I only want to belong somewhere." "Then tell them when you are ready." That night, Emberwing did not sleep quickly. He walked among his shelves. He looked at the small cup that had once waited for a guest. He touched the children's drawing and the village note. Each object carried a memory of kindness. The memories did not remove his fear. They gave him something stronger to stand beside it. By morning, Emberwing had made a choice. He would attend the Lantern Festival. He did not know how the villagers would react. Still, he would no longer let fear tell his whole story. Chapter 10. The Dragon's Greatest Treasure. The first clear evening of spring arrived. Willow Valley prepared for the Lantern Festival. Hundreds of lanterns hung in the square. Each lantern had been made from thin paper stretched over a frame. A small candle rested inside. A written message was tied beneath every lantern. The messages thanked friends, remembered kindness, and carried hopes for the new season. Mr. Crumb filled long tables with bread and cakes. He had created a new loaf for the festival. It contained honey, oats, and a little cinnamon. He called it dragon bread because the recipe had come from Emberwing's cave. Mrs. Wren placed a large pot of hot cocoa beside the food tables. Mr. Alder prepared a clear space near the old oak tree. The whole village gathered as sunset turned the sky pink and gold. Lily stood at the edge of the square. She looked toward Hearthpeak. Emberwing had promised to come, yet she knew he might need time. The first lanterns were lit. Warm light spread across the faces of the villagers. One by one, the messages were read aloud. Thank you to the neighbor who repaired my fence. Thank you to the children who visited me during winter. Thank you to the friend who protected our orchard. Thank you for the dragon treats. Laughter moved gently through the square. The villagers prepared to release the lanterns. Each lantern had a safe lifting frame beneath it. Warm air would fill the lantern and allow it to rise. The candles were small. Water waited nearby for safety. Mr. Alder gave the signal. Hundreds of golden lanterns floated into the evening sky. For a moment, everything was calm. Then a powerful wind came over the western hills. The wind arrived without warning. It pushed the lanterns sideways. Several turned toward the oak branches. Others drifted toward cottage roofs. Villagers reached for ropes and water buckets. Lily stared at the sky. A great shadow moved across the rising moon. Emberwing had come. He flew above the square and opened his wings. The villagers looked up. Some stepped back. No one ran. Emberwing positioned himself between the wind and the lanterns. His wings formed a high, broad shield. The strongest gust struck him. Emberwing held his place. The lanterns stopped spinning, but they still needed help rising above the roofs. Emberwing took a slow breath. He released a wide stream of warm air beneath them. The air was gentle. It did not burn the paper. The lanterns lifted. One by one, they rose above the oak tree. Soon, hundreds of golden lights floated safely into the open sky. The messages beneath them moved softly in the wind. The villagers watched in silence. Emberwing circled once above the square. Then he landed in the clear space near the oak tree. His body seemed enormous among the cottages. He folded his wings close to his sides. He lowered his head so that he would appear less frightening. Lily walked toward him. She placed one hand against his warm copper scales. "This is Emberwing," she said. The square remained quiet. Emberwing looked at the many faces. His heart beat quickly. "My name is Emberwing," he said. "I live on Hearthpeak. I am sorry that my shadow frightened you." Mr. Crumb stepped out of the crowd. He carried a loaf of dragon bread. "You warmed my ovens," the baker said. "I hoped the bread would not be lost." Mr. Crumb placed the loaf on the ground before him. "This is for you." Mrs. Wren approached next. "You carried food and firewood to my cottage." "I did. Thank you." Ben moved forward with a clean wooden stick and a white marshmallow. "Can you teach me how to toast this?" Emberwing looked at the child. Then he looked at the waiting villagers. "I would be glad to." A fire burned in a small festival fire pit near the tables. The fire pit was made from a shallow metal bowl on strong legs. It kept the flames safely above the ground. Emberwing sat beside it. Ben held the marshmallow near the fire. "Turn it slowly," Emberwing instructed. "Every side needs warmth." Other children gathered around. At first, the adults remained a few steps away. Then Mr. Crumb brought more marshmallows. Mrs. Wren poured cocoa. The musicians began playing again. As the evening continued, the villagers asked Emberwing questions. They asked about Hearthpeak. They asked about his books. They asked whether he truly owned a teapot shaped like a sleeping cat. Emberwing answered every question. He even sang the moonlight song he had once sung only for Lily. His voice spread calmly across the square. Above them, the festival lanterns became tiny golden stars. In the weeks that followed, Emberwing became a familiar part of village life. Children visited his mountain cave on clear afternoons. They followed the safe path with adults and carried small bags of biscuits. Emberwing held storytelling evenings beside his fire pit. He read about forests, rivers, and faraway places. Mr. Crumb visited the cave to study Emberwing's recipes. Together they improved the dragon bread. They added dried apples in autumn and sweet berries in summer. The villagers also built a permanent fire pit beside the square. This fire pit was much larger than the one used during the festival. Mr. Alder arranged thick stones in a wide circle. Low benches stood around it. Water buckets were kept nearby for safety. On cold evenings, Emberwing lit the fire with one gentle breath. Families gathered around it for cocoa, music, and toasted marshmallows. The moonlight marshmallow gathering continued every month. The wishing box remained beneath the old oak tree. Villagers filled it with hopes and stories of kindness. Emberwing no longer read the notes alone. People gathered to help one another. Spring grew warmer. Flowers returned to the gardens. New leaves covered the oak tree. Birds built nests beneath cottage roofs. One evening, Emberwing sat beside the village fire pit. The sunset colored the valley with soft gold and rose. Lily sat beside his front foot, reading a storybook. Mr. Crumb passed slices of warm dragon bread around the circle. Mrs. Wren helped several children sew little cloth birds. Ben carefully turned a marshmallow above the fire. Slowly, Emberwing reminded him. "I remember," Ben said proudly. Emberwing looked across Willow Valley. He could see the green hills rising toward Hearthpeak. His cave waited there. It was filled with books, teapots, blankets, recipes, and songs. He still loved those things, yet they were no longer waiting for someone to share them with. The mountain path now carried visitors. The small blue plate was used often. The cave rang with stories and laughter. Emberwing had spent many years wondering what treasure might make his life complete. The old legends had spoken of gold and jewels. They had been wrong about many things. Gold could shine, but it could not sit beside a lonely dragon. Jewels could be beautiful, but they could not listen to a story. A treasure chest could be full and still leave a heart empty. Emberwing looked at the friends gathered around him. He understood his greatest treasure at last. It was the sound of someone calling his name with joy. It was an offered cup of cocoa. It was a seat saved beside the fire. It was knowing that others were glad he had come. It was belonging. The sun disappeared behind the hills. Lanterns glowed beneath the old oak tree. Emberwing opened one wing and gently curved it around his friends. The great wing sheltered them from the cool evening breeze. Nobody was afraid of its shadow. Lily closed her book. "Good night, Emberwing," she said. "Good night, Lily." The villagers offered their own good nights as they walked home. Doors closed, but they were no longer being closed against him. Warm lights appeared in cottage windows. Emberwing watched them glow across Willow Valley. Then he looked at the fire, the empty cocoa cups, and the smiling friends who still sat nearby. The kind dragon was home, and he would never spend another evening wondering whether friendship might arrive someday. It was already there, the end.